Welcome to Rogue Trader. Please read the disclaimer and remember that prices can go down as well as up. And now for a stock market blitz on Good Energy PLC. This is part of my Greta Gold series, and if you click on the top right hand corner up there, you'll be able to see that original video. This stock analysis series produced a shortlist for me, and I'm just going through each of these ones very quickly to then come up with a final selection which I'll go into a lot more thoroughly. So Good Energy PLC, mainly a supplier of electricity specialising in 100% renewable electricity. They actually own a couple of wind farms and 6 solar farms, but they're not really very large, and they cover 15% of their total electricity that they sell. They also have contracts with over 1,500 individual people, so this is stuff like people who've got solar roofs on their roof that the government have helped subsidise and pay for, so they get cheaper electricity. And also it might be the odd farmer here and there with a small wind turbine in one of their fields. But they also then get lots of electricity that people have set up in these micro sites, and that goes into the mix as well. But most of the electricity they sell, they have to buy off the generators, the large generators, and then resell. They were founded 20 years ago by their CEO Juliet Davenport, and it's quite an achievement really, this company that she set up from such a long time ago. They've just recently set up this new Kraken sales platform, which is designed to help improve sales, make things better for their customers, and lower their costs of administrating their sales. And also an interesting thing that just happened in January 2019, as you see in the chart down here, is they purchased some of ZapMap's equity, and they're now 50% owners of ZapMap. Now ZapMap is an app which allows people who drive electric cars to easily pay using their app for the electric charge points affiliated with the ZapMap. So this shows that Good Energy are branching into the electric vehicle market as well. So I got this from one of their investor presentations, and it does explain how they work quite neatly. So they have okay, so first of all they have their feed-in tariff. I think this is where they've got all these people with solar panels on their roofs and the odd farmer with a wind turbine. That feeds into the grid, and it's distributed all around the country. So that helps alleviate some of the problems of power transmission that we see with renewables. Then they've got their own generation assets. So this is their own wind farms and solar farms. Now those only produce 15% of their electricity supplied. So then on top of that, they then actually buy renewable electricity from the big generators and then sell to the customers. So this is where they can be a bit prone to fluctuations in the spot market for electricity and this kind of thing. Okay, and then they have their domestic customers, who are just ordinary people who prefer to pay more for their electricity because they want to know that it's green electricity. And then their business customers. And of course, these days, a lot of businesses like to promote that they're environmentally friendly. So, it's clear to see how there's business growth there. So yeah, so that's how they work, and they're mainly really they're mainly people who sell electricity to the final end customers is what they mainly are. When I look at their numbers, their revenue did increase 6% in 2019 from 2018. However, unfortunately, they were barely treading water. And then when I looked at the half one 2020, they were now into an operating loss of minus 1.1 million. So the actual first half of 2019 had been 1.5 million up. So there's this step down. It's almost like a linear step change down half by half of their profits, and they're now they're now basically in a cash burn situation. They have some debt as well, but it's not anything that outrageous at 57 million. And finally, it was just announced that their CEO, who set up the company, has been with them for so long, is now to leave her role as CEO, and that was just the most recent news. So I've got mixed feelings about Good Energy PLC. On the surface, they appear to be very well placed to take advantage of the challenges of renewable energy in terms of the distribution of energy, particularly where they have all these feeding customers who have solar panels and stuff that can all play a part of the distribution of energy around the grid. But at the end of the day, the majority of their electricity they still have to buy off the big generators. So they are kind of prone, when the cost starts going up massively, for example, if when we go more and more renewable overall, they seem to be prone to the cost that they then have to pass on to the customers. And they are mainly the customer facing company. So they're kind of at the whim of situations where, as the majority of the population are probably suffering because of the COVID situation, they'll probably be switching away from more expensive electricity and buying cheaper electricity, because they've got a mortgage to pay and this kind of thing. I think they're a little bit at the whim of macroeconomics, and although I think they're generally well put together, particularly when I look at how their net income's been reducing, they're not really the kind of profile of company that I'd want in my shortlist. Not to say that they're badly run or anything, but it's just I've got very high expectations for companies that make it to my funnel shortlist. It could be that these guys turn around if the economy turns around now this year, we could see their sales ramping up again. And I'll regret not putting them in my shortlist, but I have set expectations for what goes into my shortlist, and currently they're on a downswing, and I just don't want to take any gamble with them going up again. So yeah, a very interesting company to look at, and quite an impressive company. And I'm quite impressed with what Julian Davenport's done over the last 20 years. But unfortunately, they're not going to go into my final shortlist.